Hello, sports fans. I'm Nexus, and this is Transport Fever, Episode 2. And as soon as we get loaded into the game, we can actually start. We will be back as soon as this loads. I hate the loading screen. I wish I could find a way to edit it out so you lovely viewers would not have to sit through such a horrendous load screen. And welcome back as we are looking at the corner of the map. Now if we can get all the way back down here to where our little towns are started, our little metropolis. Okay, last time around we paid off the loan in full by using these 3 little cities that have now grown into somewhat small medium cities to pay off our loan and to also set up this food network beginning. Where it would seem we have not made not one delivery. That's because I think last time around we set this up and we ended the episode. So Yes, that's what happened. So we'll give that time to do its thing. Let's increase the speed here to ×2. Got our little trains, our little teal number down here. Following it along, carrying 50 passengers. A whole 50. It's a whole full load. Now what about this other train? Excuse me. This one is a normal red, carrying 50 passengers. Let us change the color on this here train to hot pink. Oh, there you go. That's a nice color. Nice bright color. Well, once the food gets going, we can start to get it shipped out. Now if we look and try and see where... So we're probably going to put the freight port on this side. Because as much as this is going to be the hub, we don't want trucks going all the way from here to here. Possibly from here to here. Not quite sure yet. I do know that we're going to have to ship it down here by train. That's a given. What we're going to do is probably take this out as soon as we have the money. And actually, we could just put it right here, because the passenger line is already in. We'll make it 160. Now we'll make it 200. And to start, we'll do 2 trains. Let's kick this into high gear. We'll probably end up connecting it right there. I'm sorry, excuse me, I have a bit of a sore throat. That's not the greatest looking road in the world, but it'll do. It's just for, it's not for passengers, it's, you know, simply for freight, so it doesn't have to look pretty. And we'll do that for now. We're gonna have to get rid of some of these houses probably, I would think. Right in there, and that pretty much covers the whole town as far as commercial is concerned. We'll deal with this later as it expands. But fuel would go to most of those, to all these places and all of these if I send it here to here. Yeah. Alright, now let's connect the line. This on the flat. We're gonna have to go up this hill a bit. Again, I built track in short sections because it is unrealistic to try and build it hundreds of miles at a time. And it also costs more. This is probably going to be slightly uphill, but there's nothing we can do to avoid that. It would cost an unknown amount of money to flatten all of this terrain down to match the track. That would be something we would need to turn the cost off for, and I don't think we need to turn the cost off because later in the game when we get more powerful engines, those hills won't matter. A little train skirting by. Trying to do this as cheap as possible. This is going to be the most expensive part right here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty expensive. Actually, that's not too bad. There's kind of a grade there, but I think we'll be okay. Anyway, that's that out of the way. I use this color for food because it's about as closest to the color of the bread that we can get. And that's gonna go from here to here. And this is gonna be South Food Road Freight. We'll just say, not even 20, that's even too much. We're only making, about 35 cattle a trip. So we'll set that to South Food Road Freight, and yes, it will just be costing us money at the moment, but it's cheap, so it's not costing us too much money. The loan's paid off. We got $844,000 in the bank. This is gonna be South Food Rail Transfer. Oops. Rail transfer, not rail transfer. That would not make any sense at all. Excuse me. So I've got 92 food stored. This guy's going back to pick up. Did I put the right engine on there? Yes, I did. Okay. As much as it only goes 40 miles an hour, it does have the highest horsepower available for engine class at the moment. The Mogul is 70 miles per hour with a horsepower of 305. This one is 40 miles per hour with a horsepower of 557. We are almost 1.8 million roughly in the bank. We'll just need to figure out how we're going to get food to everywhere else. I think a road from here to up here would be a good thing. And since this is going to be the hub network, I'm going to go ahead and expand it to 16 tracks now, and a second street connection. Apply. As much as we're not going to be using all of these tracks right now, we will be using them at some point. Alright, so now we can put this out here like this, connect this up. Ooh, see, that's 85K, and I don't want to spend that. So that's 13. That's 13, it's 14, so that's 27. That's 37. 47. I saved half of what it tried to charge me by doing that in smaller sections. Just pay for the pricey road and get it out of the way. Because what might happen, depending on the terrain, and it's kind of hilly, and we'd have to go all the way around. Well, we could. Depends on where. Yeah, we could go and connect it right there. We could, but we're not going to do that right now because we don't really have the money for that, and we need to get the demand up for food to be, or I'm sorry, cattle. We need to get the demand up for cattle to be shipped into here so we can upgrade that train. We can supply one town right now, maybe two, but we'll supply this one by road and this one by rail. And so I'm going to set up. Ooh, I like that. That covers most of the commercial. Or a good portion of it, most of it, yeah. So, there's that. And then we'll put a big one here. Because this train station is probably not going to need to be any bigger than 16 tracks. I can run most of that stuff in and out of in and out of most of those tracks, probably like 14, 13 of them. We'll put this here. And we'll start supplying this town with food by road. That will help kick the demand for the industry, for the processing plant into high gear. We'll call this is Halifax, right? Hal Food Road Freight. These, the upgraded cards, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And I'm only putting this many carts on there because the route is so far away. Not necessarily because we will, get 40 food for this town straight away. I don't even know what the demand is. Oh, it's 111. But, not that we'll get 40 right away. But if I put more cars on there, then the food won't be sitting here waiting as long, which will allow the production to keep building instead of decreasing. What is our food production making? It's a potential of 301. It's got 240 waiting at the station. We're going to have to upgrade this train. We don't really have anything. This is the most powerful engine we've got. I could use the cab, but that's slower. It has a higher top speed, but it would take longer to get up to speed. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to put these wagons on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 70. 11, 12. That's like 94. We'll go with that for now. Probably don't even have the money to upgrade this. Oh, just barely. 2.8 million. As much as it's making us profit, it's going to start making us a hell of a lot more profit once it upgrades. Provided this little engine will be able to still carry it. Mediocre speed right now, but we just added like 12 parts total, so it might be poor speed. But still, it's the most powerful engine we have at this moment. Take a quick break for about a minute, and I will be right back. I will leave you watching the train. Would you like to go in first person mode? Alright, I'm sure you would. I'm back, fellow viewers. I do apologize. I should have slowed this down for the break that I was gone, and I didn't actually notice that until I had just gotten back. For future reference, whenever I do take small breaks, I will be sure to slow the speed down for whatever I am leaving you watching. So we're carrying 84 now. And we're making just a little over $1 million, or at least last year we made just a little over $1 million, but that was because we traded out at the end of the year. Are you carrying anything? No. Are you carrying anything? No. Are you carrying anything? Oh, we're saving. No. Nobody is carrying anything. That's because no one has made it to the other side yet. To the other depot to let the processing plant know, hey! Hello, we need food down here. oddly enough, it's not saying that it's not showing food anywhere. Is it perhaps too far away? Okay, well, that's fine. We can always go to this side and do it. As much as we're going to have to redevelop this road later because more tracks are going to be in there. For now, it's fine. Alright, let's see if that changes anything. Normally I'd say it takes about a year or two for things to get going, but that's usually for trains, not for road freight. Okay, there we go. Now it's building. That's better. Okay. Maybe it was because it was connected to the station over here and it was actually technically too far away from here, so it wouldn't transfer it to the station and then to the road depot thing, the truck depot. That's fine. We've got it sorted out. Well, while this food thing processor does its thing, we can try and get another train set up to be taking food out here to South Woodham Ferris. Ferrers. Ferris? Ferrers. South what? These European names. I love them. That's why I like them in the game. South Woodham Ferrers. Helston's growing pretty nicely over here. Obviously pretty nicely. All these houses and everything have gone up. Over here right next to the station. Which is kind of odd because usually commercial goes up over here, not residential. So I'm actually quite happy with that. Here comes this little number carrying 84 grain. I know that we are not really looking a whole lot at the trains and stuff moving around right now, and I totally understand that, but once we have a lot of the network up and running, will be the time that we can sit around and watch the trains go through and do their thing. Right now it's just not very entertaining because there's only 2 passenger trains and one about to be 2 freight trains. I mean, by all means, I could just sit here and, you know, let you watch the trains go by for 5 or 10 minutes during the stream, but I don't think that would be very interesting gameplay for the lot of you out there. And we got 45 and 41 passengers waiting to go each direction. Up here we have 44 passengers, but that means you just picked up a full load of 40 or 50, which means we have near 100 waiting at that station at any given time. And then over here, it looks like you just picked up, and there are 31 waiting, 30 waiting, and 50, so we're getting close to 100 there too. The food is processing out of control. We're going to need a more powerful train here pretty quickly. Thankfully, I've got about 70 mods installed in pretty much all vehicles and industry and stuff like that. Nothing that will economically change the game. Well, if you're talking about expense, it will most certainly change the game, because a lot of the modded trains I have on here are really expensive. The running cost is cheap, but the initial buy is ridiculous. Okay, we have 7.15 million. And by the way, yes, we are on normal difficulty, if you guys all remember. I watch other streams, and I just have hard understanding as to how people are bankrupt all the time by 1880, 1890, when you could simply just pay your loan off in the first, 12 years of the game, and then have all of this money built up if you start with trains. And then, when I played Train Fever, it was a different concept. It was a 20-minute rule, so everybody that played used to just spam, 1,000 carts onto one line, and it would make you a bunch of money. And in this game, that doesn't work. This town's growing nicely. We've got 162 food waiting here. So much that it has stopped the line usage. I'm gonna have to bang some more carts on there. Well, autosave. Yes, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That very, very well may have overdone it. But we will see. We will find out. I mean, there is 200 food waiting there, and the total carts that I just put out were 45 plus the 40, so that's still only like 80, 85 food total to be taken from there at any one time, and it will still be building in the process. Look at all that food waiting. It's ridiculous. That's why we need all these carts. And it doesn't appear that we'll be oversaturating the town because the demand keeps going up. As much as that is not an ideal depot, until we have a little bit more money to waste setting up a proper depot, that will have to do for the time. Alright, we're going to use this engine again. And this time we're going to haul food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll do 56. And this is going to be South Food Rail Transfer. I have to say that was probably rather loud. Follow this little number on its maiden voyage, and then we'll go back and smooth all of that out. As much as I want to, this isn't going to work the way I want it to. As much as I want to send all the materials coming in on this side and everything going out on this side, it's just not going to work. That just looks horrible. As much as we're not going to be able to do a whole lot about it, because the gouge is so deep. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's still going to look pretty bad. We'll have to put some trees or something there. Well, maybe. And a lot of it depends on how long you actually hold the cursor there on that one spot. If I hold it here, it'll pretty much completely flatten everything out there. But it is rather expensive. But there we go. I apologize if you hear stuff. I apologize if you hear stuff in the background. That is my cats playing. Alright, we're getting food here. Ooh. Still have a lot of food there. As much as I don't want these guys to have to stop, they're inevitably going to have to stop. Until I get all the tracks in there and know exactly where they're going, there's no point in building a bridge. Demand is very low in this town, even though there are 253 people. Demand in this town is over 100 for everything. And what about over here? Less than 80. Let's see. This guy's making us 1.1 million a year. This guy is making us about 900,000 a year, it looks like. $70 passengers waiting. Starting to make money, but not quite profitable. We could change this color to the food color if we wanted to see how that looks. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. The engine doesn't look great. It's a farm train. That's why it's that color. Now we have almost 200 food waiting for HAL, food distribution. Yeah, I would say here pretty soon we're going to be oversaturating the town with food. It's probably time to back some of these trucks off the line. Because I don't want to oversaturate the town as much as... Yeah, there we go. It's dropped to 50. As much as I took a few of those cars off of the line, it dropped the demand in the towns. It dropped the demand in town. When I took like 4 or 5 carts off there, it was like 121 for everything, and now it's 112. But at the same time, we won't be shipping more than we're going to use. But we can slow this down now. As much as I'd like to get closer to the ground, the camera just won't let you do it. Well, that would have been a better screenshot of the engine coming through the crossing if the end of the year had not, with the vehicle unlock, had not messed up our shot. $377 waiting. 194 production. No potential because we're not shipping enough. Well, we just don't have the engine to ship more than that right now. What we could do is connect another passenger line. And I think that's what we're gonna do. Yes, we're going to ship another passenger line, or start another passenger line rather. Oh, this is gonna be a big city. Maybe its demand isn't very high, but that's because there's nothing going on here yet. Yeah, people are pretty much just walking everywhere they need to go, including towns on the other side of the map. Like, yeah, it's gonna take me about 1.5 years to get there, but I'll go ahead and do it. Something other like that. Oops, we weren't supposed to go that way. Let's go on the outside. Because that is what will drive the passenger demand. We might do an inner city route later, but not right now. This isn't going to be the main line, but it will be a main line. But it'll be a loop line or something, so it's not going to be blue, it'll be purple. This is passenger, so it's going to be this ugly lime green. Or dark green. Nope, wrong one. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna do something that I don't really do. So first, this is gonna be Kenny Transit. And then we're gonna create another transit because this town is so big. We're gonna make it this gaudy color, dark. No, I don't want that one. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna make it this gaudy color, light green. And those stations because, you know, I'm not gonna be able to reach all of the inner city with this. I'm gonna have to delete that house, and that's fine. I'm not gonna reach all of the inner city with these outer lines. This is just gonna take care of the houses and everything that build up out here. I mean, as much as, you know, yeah, I could probably get them, it'll be easier just to have an inner line. So people aren't have to walk from the middle of the city all the way out here to the bus stop. I don't normally build these kind of things because I just assume that, you know, the AI will get with the program. But for the enjoyment of the stream, I will do so. Okay, so this is on this side. So, which means we're going to stay true to where, you know, the traffic wants to go. We'll have to stay on the right. And this will be Kinney Inner Transit. It'll go from here to here to here to here to here to here to here and then back there again. Okay, now that that's done, we'll need this back, just not yet. Need to get a depot in somewhere, preferably either on the outside of town or next to the industrial area. I just don't see the point of putting vehicle depots near, you know, residential or shopping centers, since everything comes out of the industrial area at some point or another. We're going to use these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those will go on Kinney Transit, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and those will go on Kinney Inner Transit. Alright, now I need to build the track. I guess it doesn't really matter what side we go to, since it's just going to be like a big circle kind of thing that connects. Well, maybe. I don't know, it just depends. Anyway, at the moment it doesn't matter. Is that autosave? As much as this is building some hills, it's okay, because it's only going to be going in one direction. Well, eventually. Right now it's going to be going back and forth, but that's okay, because we'll put that powerful engine on it, and it should be no problem. These are just tiny hills anyway. It's nothing serious. Well, first, let's get the second track in for this main line. worry about deleting anything later. Now, like, see, that's not gonna work for me. We'll just put a station, I guess. I don't really want to. Well, just make the train and then delete it. That's what we'll do. We'll just make the train and then delete it. So we'll go from here to here. And this will be the Kenny Howell Express. As much as I don't want to waste the money on a depot, some of these depots are pretty cheap. I can just build the train and get it on the line and then delete it. Because we'll have a regular depot later. Oh, I got this, but see, it's not more powerful than this. We do have hills that we have to take into consideration, otherwise I'd put the mogul on there. Actually, what are those? Oh, no. Not quite. It's probably too many wagons for now. Kick this into high speed. I'm gonna delete this. Shall we follow it along or ride on board? Change the color maybe? Ooh, no. No. There we go, we'll make it red. I don't... No passengers. It'll take a year or two for that to get going. People to be like, oh look, there's a new train. Yeah, this inner city may have been a waste of money, but we have the money, so it's not really that big of a deal if it doesn't make us any money. But if anything, it can just be a feeder line. Most of these passenger routes are never going to make you any money. I mean, on the off chance that you get lucky and one city is so massive and has so many passengers moving through it that you are making, you know, $20 or $30, $40,000 a year, that's not a lot still. But most of these passenger lines are just, you know, they're basically just feeder lines to feed the rest of your transport, your trains, your boats, your planes. But don't ever expect to, you know, make a fortune off of road vehicles or road transport, because it will never compare to the amount of money you'll make from a train or a plane or a boat. I just don't like boats because they're really slow. As much as the running costs on the boats are inexpensive, like, you know, maybe 10,000 a year per boat, when they pay off, it's absolutely astounding. I just don't want to wait 6 years for it to pay off once. Well, we got the new, the Frontenac. I believe that is a passenger boat. I don't know. I believe it's a passenger boat. It could possibly be a cargo ship. But I think that's the Klondike, is the cargo ship. Alright, well, getting passengers here. We've already got 32. What do you got on board? 3? Oh. No, he's making some money. Just not making profit yet. How many did you pick up? 35 of 48. Okay, so the 3 carts were enough. Usually I future plan. I probably would have normally put 5 on there just because I know that there's going to eventually be enough to go around. But for the sake of the stream, I did not do it that way. We can slow this down to ×2. We don't have to move it ×4. Train 1 has reached its lifetime. Yeah, I bet it has. Well, we can go ahead and replace that. As much as we were running this one, the 237, we can go to the Mogul. Because we've got this for freight. We'll use the Mogul for passenger until something better comes out. The Mogul goes how fast? 50. Okay. So we could put these on that autosave. That autosave for the testing phase. Alright, we will go. Actually, let's color what we want it to be, because sometimes the color of the cars, for the color you pick for the train, it just doesn't look good for the cars as it does for the engine, or vice versa. So we'll make the engine orange, and then we'll make the cars pink. We'll go 5, and that's 2 million. So an orange engine and pink cars. This ought to be nice. This ought to be interesting. We'll watch it. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Oh, look at that. Bright orange engine with bright neon pink cars. Well, as much as only the roof is colored in, the cars don't really change color. That doesn't look too bad. It's definitely interesting. And now they can carry 80 passengers. As you just picked up 51 and there's still almost 30 waiting. There's 50 here. This one will be complaining here soon that it's too old. We'll put the Mogul. much as we didn't just color that train yet. Yep, I think passenger trains are going to be orange and neon pink. Simply because they're not really colors that I use typically. Just simply because I don't care for really bright colors, but this isn't about me, it's about you. We've got 130 food waiting here. 172 waiting here. And the demand has gone up again because the passenger amount is increasing. Land use is growing. How many passengers did you pick up? 60. Well, we'll get there because now this train is, introduced to the network and it's hauling passengers back and forth between a totally different city. So if they're coming here, they must be shopping, working, moving, or wanting to go to one of these other places. So as much as they're not using the full capacity, they're still making decent money. And actually this color scheme is probably going to change as I usually make the main line blue, some kind of shades of blue, just to distinct where we started at. As much as it would be easy to remember that we started in South Woodham Ferrers to Halifax. Once we get expanded out here, it's going to be like, oh yeah, where did we start? Well, if we just pull up the grid and we look to the main line and go to it, we'll know. I should upload record a video on one of my other saves where it shows where I've got most of the map connected and everything pretty much distributed out of one hub. Like all the materials, the goods and the machines and the tools and the fuel and all that stuff will come into here. And the logs will probably come into here and be shipped out to a sawmill, and then they'll be shipped back. Or they'll be shipped, they'll be shipped to the, whatever the place is, this place, the machine shop, or the goods factory, and the plastic and everything. And then all the completed goods will be shipped into this one hub, and then it'll all be shipped out to wherever it needs to go. Multiple trains, some trains will be hitting more than one place. I do have freight airports enabled, so when we get to that time frame, we can use the freight airports when we get big planes to ship stuff, across the map. Because running a train, as much as I like to connect all of the cities through one major distribution hub, it's very satisfactory to see all of those trains running in and out of that station and going out to the destination. Running a train from here would have to be something like 50 cars, 60 cars long, full of variety of mixed goods. And as much as it would get the goods out here, it would not make us any money. It would make maybe 20 million to drop it off, but it would eat 30 million coming back. So it would be, I've tried that strategy multiple times before. Trains going over a long distance of the map carrying 50 cars, of a variety of goods just never makes you money. At least not early or mid or meta game. It will always lose you money. Now, late game, when the towns are, you know, they're not towns anymore. They're technically over 1,000 people in their cities, and they require a lot of demand. Then we can put, you know, 2 or 3 trains, 50 cars long, on the same track going to those same cities. And then at that point, because they're so big and require so much, they will make you money. But in the beginning, they will lose you millions. Which is why we have not really expanded too much further than this, because we're only at 12 million. We need to give time for this train to settle in. It's still not carrying a full amount of passengers. As much as we could connect this rail around to here, to Sandy, and then from Sandy back to Hal, and just make that a one running line, a circle loop. And we could put like 2 or 3 trains on there, moving passengers between those 3 cities. Because as much as I would like to connect these up to the main line, it's not realistic once you get down here to the mountains. So these are going to have to be like here to here, or from here to here to here, and then this one's going to have to go out to here and stop and drop off, and then another train's going to have to pick up from here to here to here, possibly to here, stop, and then another line will have to go from here to here, or yeah, well, from here to out around. It'll have to go around the city and come back, and then go out to Sandy, and then all of those passengers will somehow, you know, be connected. And as much as it'll be a while before we connect all those cities, as well as up here, we may just use airports to, you know, travel some people in. Some people just may not be connected by rail. It just depends. I have no loan, so I have no debt. I made $875,000 last year, but that's because I spent money on building 2 trains. So that's probably another, you know, 20, 15, 16 million dollars right there just in train cost. So altogether, we've probably made a few million. Let's see what this guy's got. Oh, okay, well, you got... What we can do... is, since this isn't a main road to anything but factories, and we don't really run anything by road on factories because of the cost is not efficient, or the cost to ratio is not efficient. Line this up best we can, plop it in right there, build a road, build a road to here. Oh. This is Lydney, looks like Lydney. We got 136 passengers. We will set up a experimental tram in this town. We will set it up right here next to industrial factory anyway. And then we will electrify won't need to electrify all of it because we're not going to go through all of it. I'm not going to go over there to the industrial area because the stops I put in here and here will cover that area. And people don't really ride the bus to town when they live in town. If they come from out of town, they are more apt to take the bus. Electric. We don't have electric yet, but we're gonna set up for electric. Yeah, it would help if we set up the stops. Okay, so I have one there. I have one there. I have one there. I have one there. One there. And one there. And that should do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is Lydney. So this will be Lyd Transit. And it's already set up for electric, so we'll just go ahead and do the steam one. Oh well, this is electric. It carries more. We'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just put 5 for now. And now I need this. I guess we gotta go over there. Alright, where are you at? People are lucky that you didn't build too close. Well, maybe you're not so lucky. Let me build this one first. Sorry, folks. You did not have permission to build there. Yeah, that's not gonna work, and that bridge ain't gonna work either. What is with this bridge? I have seen this before. Okay, there we go. I'd rather the road be screwed up than the track be screwed up. So that's what we're going with. I'm not really at the height of the bridges, as I've said before. I don't see myself using boats. If you came for boats, you're going to be disappointed. try and wrap this around the mountain, not costing us an arm and a leg. Or an arm and 2 legs. I'm double tracking this now because once I connect this city as the 4th city on this line are connected, I'm going to double track the rest of the stations. I'm going to turn this into the main line, and all the trains are going to be running this route. As much as point-to-point services make more money, at this point it doesn't really matter because there are so many passengers moving back and forth that it's really not going to make a difference. But it will mean that we can have more trains than 3 on the line. As much as this is kind of hilly, I'm not really too worried about it. It's not real hilly. It is kind of a roller coaster, but that's okay. And I should have probably gone that way. No, because there's more hills that way. Anyway, I can try and go from this side. Yes, we may have just wasted all of the money on that track over there, but that's okay. Track is, if you do it right, it's cheap. As long as you don't say, oh yeah, you know, I want to go from here and connect all the way over here and cost yourself 2.7 million. I could probably do all of that. I could probably get there without whipping it across like that for probably less than 500,000. Just saying. As much as I don't want a tunnel, it might be the best solution. Yeah, I think it's going to be the better solution. That autosave can be quite annoying. I'm gonna smooth this out while we're here, because otherwise we'll forget about it, and we'll see it later and be like, why did we leave that like that? much as we just, you know, wasted all that. I'm not too concerned with it. Because we were off from where the station was anyway. As much as that would have been more of a scenic route, we're not looking for scenic at the moment, we're just looking to get this line completed. Okay, where's the collision? Whatever. We gotta double track the rest of this. Slow this down to regular speed because now the trains are on the same tracks. Ah, no. My signals are gone, the disk signals, they're no longer around, which kind of sucks. Yeah, kind of knew the bridge was going to have to go. Sorry, we'll just rebuild it in a moment. Alright. Sorry that I'm so quiet when I'm building. I'm concentrating. We're going to make sure that we get it right so we don't have to keep redoing it. Alright, there we go. Alright, now that everything is double tracked up and signaled up, now while those trains are still running, this is going to be the main line. And it's going to run from here to here to here to here. And then back to here. And back to here. And then eventually back up to there. Anyway, that's the main line. So, now what we gotta do is we gotta select this guy. Poor power rating. And we gotta put him on the main line. And we're also gonna upgrade his engine because that's just horrendous. This guy only goes 37, but his power is good. We're still gonna do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did they carry in now? 5. And you're gonna replace now, because we can't have that slowness going on. Same with you. You're going to the main line. And you're getting a new engine. guys now. We're going to kick this into high gear because we need to get more trains on this line. Like, ideally 3 or 4. There's 2 on there now. 2 more would be ideal. We're gonna wait for this guy to get up here and this guy to get like over here. And then this guy coming toward us to go back the other way. And then after he's at the other city, we'll put another train on. And then when they're separated, we'll put another one on. There should be short wait times between cities. It shouldn't be an hour-long wait time, or people shouldn't be waiting a month to get on a train. As much as the time is unrealistic in this game. Once we get to like 1950, around 1950, 1930, 1940, 1950, something like that, we'll put on the 4 times mod. In which case, everything will run at a normal, you know, semi-realistic speed. And then this first speed right here will be the ×3 speed on the 4 times. So instead of going ridiculously fast like that, it'll move at normal speed. These guys look like they need more food carts. And instead, I'm just gonna upgrade these guys. Add some more carts to that line to get that food dealt with, because the train's not dropping off as much as it should be. It's just too much waiting. And as much as we've wasted time getting this train out, we need to get this train on the line before the other one gets up here. This one go back to the station here and pick up and then go. So by that time this other train should be coming in. Oh yeah, he's right there. Start upgrading the town vehicles to Landauers. So they'll push more passengers around. That quarterly save. These guys don't need upgraded or anything at all right now. The track's not as lumpy as it was when we would have gone around the mountain. That tree was kind of close. Might have to do something about that. That tree was a bit close. Anyway, now that they're, you know, dually separated and the passengers are building, upgrade these food carts so that they'll haul more, because these are really slow. Speed this up a minute and see if they start taking more. Yeah, 164, the demand is rising. 507 passenger population now. How many are you carrying? 71 of 80. So, still gonna be making decent money. Let's look at our lines. The balance sheet. The main line is still making the most money. We're losing about 55,000 a year, but we're making over $1 million a year. We made, yeah, 2 million so far this year, and we bought trains. Well, that was last year we bought trains, but yeah, we've made almost a little over 2 million this year. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and be more than welcome to leave a comment. Let me know what you would like to see in the game. Now that we have got our economy rolling, I will start taking requests for putting you into the series. Leave it in the comments, and I will check it, and I will see you next time. I've been Nexus, and this is Transport Fever.